at some of the fundamental sounds of Coeur d'Alene. Just some of the fundamental sounds of Coeur d'Alene. We start with the hard ones. Okay? We start with the hard ones. And the hard ones are the ones that we don't have in English. That's what makes them hard for us. They all sounded like English ones. They wouldn't be hard. But since there's a lot of sounds in these languages in this part of the world that are not in English, we have to really kind of struggle to do them. We're just not used to it. So one of the ways that we can do that is we can talk about where those sounds are made in the mouth. I can actually convince you that you're making Coeur d'Alene sounds by using this diagram, which is somebody's open mouth looking in this direction, right? This is Sammy. Sammy's looking in this direction. This is his nose, that's his upper lip, that's his teeth, this is the bony ridge. Stick your, you get a clean hand, put your hand in your mouth, and touch that ridge behind your teeth. Okay, everybody do it. There you go. That's this ridge right here, okay? Your lower teeth, your lower lip, your chin, your tongue, and then this is your air passage. And this is the major, everybody in the world, everywhere, makes all of their speech sounds with these organs right here. Your nose, your mouth, your throat, your teeth, your tongue. This is all you can do. There are no languages in the world that do this. Okay? All the languages in the world use the same apparatus. So I can actually talk about the language, the speech sounds in Coeur d'Alene language. I can talk about these sounds, where they're made in the mouth and how you go about doing it. Where they're made in the mouth and how you do it. Okay? So for example, the flow of air comes up from your throat, out of your lungs, and it comes into your oral cavity, and your tongue rises up to stop it, and your tongue makes contact with the roof of your mouth. And it stops the flow of air. Stops the flow of air. And then you lower your tongue, and you allow the air to go back out. So this is what would be called a stop. And when you touch the tongue tip to the roof of your mouth, you make in English a K. That's how you make a K. You made a K that way since you were 3 years old. You don't make it any other way. Sometimes the K is here, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here, but there's a general area where you make the K in your mouth. Okay? You know this word? Know that word? Keel. Do you know this word? Lots of people in the South do, but nobody in the West does. Kale. Kale. Are you from the South?
No.
Okay. Okay. Keel, kale. I'm going to move these over with. Start a little too far. Keel, kale. Ignore the spelling. This word is coal. This word is cool. Everybody do this together. Keel, kale, coal. Someone's a step behind. Cool. Do it again. Keel, kale, coal, cool. Is this K the same K as that K? What's happening? Who can tell me? No. Yeah, you're moving your tongue. Your tongue is actually here for keel. It's there for kale. It's coal, and it's moving from front to back. You actually make this K sound further back in your throat, in your mouth, than you make that K. Why? Why is there a difference? Why do you make it? Why is one?
You make it sound.
Yeah. What does that? The vowel following. Your brain is actually working so fast that you're anticipating the vowel that, and the vowels are made differently in the mouth. The vowels are made further back. So your K sound is actually moving. That's how you've been doing this since you were 3 years old. Nobody told you that. Nobody drew you the Sammy diagram. You picked that up subconsciously from the people who were speaking around you, and your mother shaped your speech. Another shaped your speech. And then as you grew to learn English, you learned that it doesn't make a difference where you make that K in English, because all of that is a K sound. All of it is a K. English spelling is retarded, but just get that out of the way.
All right.
But that spelling, but that K sound in English is moving. You know, it's in that part of the mouth. Now it's different. If you went too far forward and you actually touched your tongue tip to the back of that ridge there, you wouldn't no longer make a K sound, you make a T sound. Okay. If you touched your K there all the way around and you did that and your vocal and the air was flowing smoothly out of here, it would be a K sound. But if all of a sudden you started vibrating your vocal cords, then you'd be making a G sound. But for now and for English, that K sound, that K sound, right there. The bad news is that for us English speakers, we've gotten used to having that kind of flexibility up there, because we can make a K sound all over the roof of our mouth, all over the palate there. But in Coeur d'Alene language, there's a point at which that's no longer a K. Everything this way is in fact a KW, creased. And we're not going to have any trouble with that. We do that all the time. However, everything from here on back, made in that manner, is no longer a K sound. It's a Q. It's a Q. And that fundamental difference between a K and a Q in Coeur d'Alene language is really difficult for English speakers, because we zone out. We don't care if you make your K up here or your K back here. If I mispronounce coal and I say it with my K, it may sound like a dialect difference, but it's still going to be understood as that. If, however, you cross over from a K to a Q in Coeur d'Alene language, you're making two different words. Okay? Kum in Coeur d'Alene language is and. Kum in Coeur d'Alene language is gray. And so we have to learn to make the difference between a K and a Q, and it's really hard. And may not be able to do it in the next 10 years. Because I can slow it way down, but of course in rapid speech it's going to be difficult. But we start with the hard ones, and then we're going to work on this a lot. We do it on day one because then we practice it every day. But that's just one of the things going on in the language, is that we're going to be making consonants that we're not used to hearing and that we're zoning out and we don't hear as significant. But as you know, if you've studied other languages, this is really part of what language is all about. Starting with really the fundamental sounds of the language. So we're going to spend some time doing that. And in fact, Kim's got some exercises that we can do that are on the web page. And we'll show you how we've taken some of what we know about Coeur d'Alene and just tried to shape our ability to hear and then start to make something as really fundamental as a distinction between two consonants. Now, just to give you a little heads up and make it a little bit easier on you, this K sound in Coeur d'Alene language often sounds like the sound you make at the end of leak. Leak. Everybody say leak.
Leak.
Now say lock.
Lock.
Feel the difference? Do it again. Leak, leak, lock. Feel where that K is. In English, we think that's a K. In Coeur d'Alene language, if you can hear and understand the difference between that K and that K, you're coming really close to the distinction between a K and the way we're going to represent in Coeur d'Alene language as a K.